If alcohol were an enemy overseas, we'd already be at war with it. But because it comes in a bottle, we defend it. And veterans are dying because of it. This episode isn't about recovery, it's about command responsibility. When it comes to drinking, especially in the military, it needs to be looked at something different than bonding. Let's call it what it is. It's avoidance. I mean, at the time, it feels like fun and you're bonding, especially after you get back from deployment or if you're ready to deploy or just talk about war stories or if you have a fallen one and you pour out a little for them or if you have a drink for them and a shot, like it's viewed as respect in the military. But again, it's a fake level of bonding that's more towards avoidance. It has to be addressed. Now, I strongly feel that it's treated as tradition because nobody wants to challenge it. Again, I'm a soldier that partook heavily in drinking. But now that I'm on this side of sobriety, I think it's time for us as a whole to challenge it. If you look at it from the bird's eye view, the military prepares you for war, but not stillness. And that I feel like is the issue a lot of us have once we're out is we weren't prepped for the quiet, weren't prepped for the chaos of the civilian world. We weren't prepped for the missing of your battle buddies. And again, just going from a world that is totally planned out, segmented, chain of command. You know who's in charge, why they're in charge, to come into the civilian world where literally it's just chaos. Anyone could be in a leadership position without the proper training. Um, there's no regulations. You don't have to get up at a certain time. There's no one checking your bunk, your room for cleanliness. Like it literally is the opposite of what we're trained for. Now, I would like to reach the sober, curious veteran, the listener out there who has been listening for a while, or maybe someone just put you onto this and you've been drinking, self medicating. It's getting worse. You're getting older. People around you maybe are getting tired of your actions, or maybe you're just tired of it. You're tired of waking up hungover, figuring out, piecing together the night before, looking through your phone, finding out who you need to apologize for, apologize to. I mean that that just gets old after a while. And the anxiety that comes with waking up hungover, not only is it horrible for your body, but just that mental angst of not knowing what you did the night before. Now, this is for the ones who drink and know it's a problem. This is really for the ones who are afraid to say anything. And ultimately, it's for the ones who feel weak for even questioning alcohol. When it comes to alcohol, I was super weak in the sense that I drank when I wanted to drink, when I was happy, when I was sad. I did it all to the point where I was hiding the volume of how much I was drinking because as an addict, I needed to get here. And even though people around me tried to limit my intake, I snuck what I could to get here. And that in hindsight is such a weakness because I was just a slave to the bottle. I was a slave to that buzz that literally chained me down in my every facet of life. On the way to a party, I had to stop and get something to drink. If I was going on vacation, I had to know where the bar was, where I would get liquor, what I would do like that. It's such a restraining thing and it takes up such negative headspace, because you're constantly thinking about it, worried about it, and it prevents you from being in the now. It prevents you from experiencing whatever you're meant to experience and enjoying it for what it is because now you're adding this depressant to it. Basically, the loudest voices defend drinking, the quiet ones are already tired of it. If this is you, keep listening. Let's take action. Now, alcohol is tactfully basically, let's call it out for what it does. It lowers your discipline. I know when I drink, I could have the best intentions of the next morning waking up and walking, running, working out, even doing 20 push-ups. I struggled when I was in the height of my addiction to my goal was every morning to wake up and do 20 push-ups just to start the day on a positive note. But when you wake up and you're dehydrated, your head hurts, you just feel like crap. Like the last thing you want to do is work out. And then that just starts a negative snowball effect. Cause then for breakfast, instead of eating healthy, you want something greasy to kind of get rid of that hangover feel and just kind of get back to normal. So it just starts your day off wrong. Some hangovers are so intense that it cost me days. There were times where I wasn't feeling right till about Wednesday. Like I was feeling myself 100%. Not only does it lower discipline, it distorts judgment. This could be a huge issue for a lot of people. I'm lucky in the sense that I've been married 18 years, coming on 19. I've never been unfaithful. I've never like went that route. I know a lot of people that have while they're drinking. It's horrible. Most of my judgment issues are in just stupid things I would say, stupid things I would buy online. Just basically my judgment was always messed up in the sense that my ego would boom come right as soon as I had my first beer, boom, my ego would control everything. I deserve this. I work hard. Don't come at me, bro. Like, I know what I'm doing because I was the definition of a functioning alcoholic, a highly functioning alcoholic. I made sure all my responsibilities were done first. Then I'd crack a beer. So then I'm like, hey, I did everything I was supposed to do. This is my reward time. And that's not a good way of viewing alcohol. So again, it distorts your judgment. And another thing it does that's very painful, especially for us veterans, is it keeps veterans stuck in reaction mode. You're never proactive when you're actively living your addiction. Like when I was drinking, like I said, when it comes down to working out, to eating right, to saying the right things, doing the right things, being present, all that took a back seat to my addiction because I wanted to drink and I wanted to get a certain level of buzz on, and I would do whatever it would take to get there. And then I would eat like crap, talk like crap, just feel like crap. It's just not good. It keeps you in a reaction mode. You cannot be proactive. You cannot be giving your best to any situation, mentally or physically, when you're actively using. It's just impossible. Now think about this. If alcohol did this on deployment, command would shut it down immediately. Think about that. But here we are actively using it every day. I'm going to say that again. If alcohol did this on deployment, command would shut it down immediately. That's hard. That hits. Now, I also want to talk about the difference between sobriety and recovery. Sobriety is not equal to recovery. Sobriety is not healing. Sobriety, when you look at it and break it down to its simplest form, is basically just giving yourself permission to regain authority over your life, over your actions. It's pushing out the excuse or the outside force that is making you do these dumb things. Um, so yeah, sobriety is regaining authority. Now recovery is optional. Command is not. Recovery is facing you. Like anyone that listens knows about this. I wear this bracelet that says I beat Joe Yurick every day as a reminder because that's one thing I could say that no one in the world could say they've done is I beat Joe Yurick. I beat my addiction. I faced everything I had to face and I made it through on the other side. And now I'm sober and thriving, which is exactly why I'm doing this. And I'm pushing this message so hard because again, sobriety is simply quitting your addiction of choice. That's step one. Super hard step. There's nothing easy about sobriety. I'd never sugarcoat that. Step two is recovery, which is where you need to learn who you really are without this substance. And the best way to do that is by daily wins. When you first quit drinking or first quit whatever drug of choice you're doing, you'll realize that you're going to have a bad day. And then you're gonna get through that day, and then you're gonna go, "Oh, wow. I made it through that bad day without alcohol." Then something amazing is gonna happen where normally you would celebrate and drink. You'll make through that amazing situation and go, "Wow, I just made it through this amazing situation and I didn't have to drink." And then slowly you start to gain your confidence back. And then once you gain your confidence back and then realize that you don't need this substance, that this substance was actually hurting you, masking things that you've been pushing down forever. And now that these things come up to the surface, now that you feel emotion again, you realize that I can do this. And then you start to find out who you really are. And once you find out who you really are, then you start living the life that God or the universe, whatever you may believe in, really meant for you, because now you're facing things as the true you, and you're not masking or running away from things. You're just conquering, doing these simple wins every day to show that, life's gonna life, but I'm in control. I'm gonna stay sober and I'm gonna navigate this life sober to see who I really am. Now, to sum that up, basically, sobriety doesn't fix you, it gives you back the controls. I'm gonna say that again because a lot of people have this messed up. Sobriety doesn't fix you, it gives you back the controls. Now, what no one warns you about, sobriety is lonely at first. You're going to realize that you have a lot of time on your hands and a lot of time was wasted doing your drug of choice. So yeah, at first it's like, wow, like what do I do now? And that's when the bad thoughts creep in. That's when a lot of hard things come in because now you have all this time on your hands and you don't know what to do to yourself. I suggest, as I always do, is never do this alone. Always find a support group, whether it's AA, whether it's church, whether it's a spouse, a family member, a friend. Spend time with them or do something active. Get outside, ride a bike, go on a ruck march, go on a walk. Do something outside your comfort zone that invests in you, because the best thing you could ever invest in is yourself. And anything you do physical is an investment in yourself now that you don't have this poison affecting your body. Now, another harsh reality with sobriety is that you will outgrow some friends, because most of the people you hang out, if you're like me, are those people that were like-minded and enjoyed the same addiction that you did. So when I quit drinking, I weeded out a lot of friends that I thought were my like ride or die, because now my mission and goals did not align with their mission and goals. So they continued on their path and I broke free and am now on my path. And it's funny because running into those people now, they're all like, "Oh man, you look great." Like they're none but compliments and everything, but some of them just aren't ready to join you on your path, and that's okay. Let them do them. You do you. Nothing wrong with that. Just because you quit your addiction doesn't mean the world has to. Let them do them. You do you. Another thing that especially I had to deal with in the beginning was emotions. I didn't deal with any emotions from the age of 17 to 40 because I would drink. I would laugh everything off. To me, emotions were showing weakness, rarely cried. I would just drink everything away. And I'd be like, it's Tomorrow Joe's problem. Good, good, good. And I would just drink. So now that I'm sober, I've realized that I'm an angry person. There is an anger deep within me that is now easily triggered. I'm an emotional person. Now on Friday nights when we watch a family movie, my kids look over and see dad bawling his eyes out, where dad would never cry before, but now I'm crying over the movie Up. Like just something hit me and it just, yeah, it's weird showing these emotions now. But you know what? Like we're human. That's part of the human experience. You're supposed to feel emotion. And the fact that we suppressed it for so long is a disservice to ourselves. So now we have to navigate that because that's new to us and it's something every human deals with. So why not jump on it now? Just be warned that you will experience every emotion multiple times a day for no reason sometimes, and that's okay. You just got to navigate through that and learn how to learn that that is the true you, And over time, it gets easier because you'll get used to it more. Now I'm almost 4 years sober and, like, my emotions are not half as crazy as they were because I've gotten a handle of them. So, a lot of these things just happen in the beginning almost as a deterrent because the addict in you wants you to jump back into your addiction. It wants you to go like, "Man, this is way too hard. There's no way you could do this. Let's just have another beer," you know? So, it's always hard in the beginning, but you gotta fight through it. And last, with the things that no one warns you about, is that clarity hurts before it helps. When I first quit drinking, I felt like I was unplugged from the matrix. The world looked totally different to me, especially when I would go out like in a setting that there was alcohol. It was very bizarre for me. Then I started to realize, wow, like not only did I waste so much time, I wasted money, I wasted destroying my body, I wasted just looking dumb. Like I remember going out to this bar where there was an event, a networking event, and it was a little later in the night, normally where I would probably be pretty buzzed by this time. And I see this gentleman, super red face, walks up to the bar, slurring his words, flirting with the waitress or the bartender, and just like I'm looking at this guy and I'm like, oh, was that me? Like it's just to me, in my eyes, it's just a bad look, and that's just not who I want the world to know Joe Yurick as. So again, clarity hurts before it helps because now it's easy to get into a spiral of looking at what you've done as that addict and going like, "Oh man, like I can't believe I did that. That's horrible." But like it's so easy to go down that rabbit hole. So you have to have the discipline to go, "You know what? I recognize that for what it is now, and I'm so glad I'm not doing that anymore." So instead of getting sucked down that hole, just appreciate that you went through that. You know how that feels. You're now seeing it through sober eyes, what it actually looks like. So now you know what not to do. And just kind of keep that as motivation for those days when it's hard and you do want to drink or you do want to use again. Play it out and remember that moment and go, you know what? Like, I was that guy for 20 plus years. I don't want, I'm not that guy anymore. I don't want to be that guy, and my strength is in my choices, and then do that to remain sober. And to sum that up, alcohol didn't remove your pain, it postponed it with interest. Alcohol didn't remove your pain, it postponed it with interest. That's tough, and that's what you're getting through with these beginning stages of sobriety, is that interest part. It's hard, but it's doable and it's totally worth it. Now, the challenge. I'm not asking you to quit forever. I'm asking you to stop lying about what alcohol is doing to you. Simple challenge. 30 days. Try it like dry January, whatever. It's like you can do 30 days. No labels, no announcements, just observation. You don't need to tell the world. No one needs to know but you. This is you versus you. That's why I beat Joe Yurick. Again, 30 days. Do it. See what happens. If alcohol is helping, prove it by removing it. Think about that. If alcohol is helping, prove it by removing it. If alcohol is so good for you, remove it for 30 days. Then nothing but bad should happen, right? If you're removing something so good for you. Or what happens if in those 30 days you see clarity, you feel better, you sleep better, your relationships are better, you have more money in your pocket, you're remembering things that you wouldn't know before, you're not waking up anxious and worrying about what you did the night before. At the end of those 30 days, you will realize if alcohol is helping or if it's hurting. No one has to tell you. You will know. I promise you, you'll know. Now, we need an identity reclaim. If you look at sobriety as leadership, which is kind of like what I do, because I tend to put other people's feelings, thoughts, needs before myself in order to help them. And by being the first in my crew to become sober, in a way, I'm being a leader to show them what sobriety is, what the benefits are. And I've had close friends go, "Wow, Joe, like I see what it did to you, and I quit drinking as well because, man, like look at you." And I've had other people go, "God, Joe, I don't know how you do that, dude. Like I've been drinking so long, like, I just could I mean, I wish I could do what you're doing, but I just know I can't. And that hurts to hear because I love all my friends and I wanna see them prosper and do good but everyone's on their own path. I mean, you can only do you and whatever your path entails. I also view sobriety as responsibility, especially through this vehicle, through this Sober Vet podcast, because now not only am I standing on a mountaintop screaming to the world how good sobriety is for us veterans and how we need to normalize it, this puts a huge responsibility on my shoulders to not relapse. Now, I know for a lot of people through recovery, relapse is part of the journey. That's okay. There's going to be hiccups. Things are going to happen. My journey, I'm being kind of hard on myself. I never want to relapse because I feel like there's a lot of listeners, a lot of eyes on me because I've put myself in this space to preach sobriety and I would really hate to come on this platform and say, "Hey guys, like I fell off the wagon, I drank, I did this, blah blah blah." Like I'm trying to be a light and each episode we record and each veteran sobriety win that I hear is more motivation for my responsibility to continue on this sober path because I'm not just doing this for Joe Yurick. I'm doing this for my wife. I'm doing this for my kids. I'm doing this for all of you to show that it can be done. Because again, when I was in it, dude, I was the biggest advocate for alcohol. I loved it. It was part of my fabric. Like I literally loved the buzz. I loved to get drunk. I loved the social aspect about it. It was a part of my life more than anything else I can ever remember. I would be more worried about where I was getting alcohol than I would water, food, anything my body actually needed. Nope. I wanted to get my buzz on. So that shows that I'm with you. And from going from that to being where I am, I mean that's got to say something. And then another way to view sobriety with the identity reclaim is you have to look at sobriety as unfinished business. It's never done. It is a struggle slash fight. It doesn't have to be a struggle slash fight every day. It can be for some. Sometimes are harder than others. I still struggle time to time. Most days I'm pretty good and don't think about it much, but there are some times where it's weird. I'll get a whiff of like what I remember Southern Comfort smelling like, and my body will be like, "Oh, remember how that made us feel?" And I have to kind of pause and I have to play it out because if I drink one sip of Southern Comfort, I probably would end up dead or in jail because frankly, I don't know if I can go through that sober journey again. I don't think I want to. I yeah, that's why alcohol is never gonna pass these lips again because that is a fight that I do not wanna do again. I've made it on this side, I don't even wanna look back. And to do that, it's always I just think, "Play it out." What happens if you buy that little airplane bottle? It's not gonna stop with that. You're gonna now be lying again to your loved ones, sneaking it. You're eventually gonna get caught. Someone's gonna smell it. Then you're gonna get into a fight because your ego's up front here. Then you're gonna lose everything you worked so hard for. You're gonna label yourself the victim. No one understands me. I should be able to drink. I should be able to do what I want. Nothing about taking a sip of alcohol for me would end positively. Literally nothing. Bad for my body, bad for my relationship, bad for my path in life. So why do it? But if you view sobriety as unfinished business, you know that this journey is never over. You can never, even 10 years from now, when I'm saying I'm 14 years sober, I'm not going to be like, one beer won't hurt. I've been doing this for 14 years. Nope. Because I know that demon is in me and he's ready. And once he gets a taste of that sweet, sweet nectar of the gods, ooh, watch out, boy, because I don't think I'll ever stop again. So I need to cut him off for life. That's just where I'm at. This is unfinished business. No matter how comfortable I get sober, unfinished business. I'm always an addict. That's just it's in my DNA. As long as you accept that and know how to treat it, you can live with it and move on. It's unfinished business. To sum that up, you didn't survive the war to surrender your life to a drink. If this hits you, it wasn't an accident. You didn't survive the war to surrender your life to a drink. If this hits you, it wasn't an accident.